Is an interesting day. Happy Easter to all our Christian faithfuls. I do hope that the Easter turned out to be a good day. At least we're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ and we're able to, properly contextualize our lifestyle spiritually. I would say that it's a great thing that we're right here in the studio, that we're alive, we're healthy. But of course, it is time for us to look at the Sunday spotlight. It is a Sunday political spotlight. And right here on Voice of the People, it is basically what we introduced last week, where we get to look at issues, the trend, that is the biggest stories making the rounds, spiced with incisive conversations with expert commentators right here in the studio. All right, so it tells you that we do not do it alone. We definitely have intellectuals, persons of interest who would help us diverse most of the stories that created a buzz in several sectors of the Nigerian politics. So we'll begin, right, by serving you with a summary of everything that happened in the past week. All right, that's going to be in a moment. Do stay with us. Okay, so we're starting off with the camp of the Labour Party presidential candidates in the 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, who was, thrown into confusion following a leaked audio conversation between him and the general overseer of the Living Faith Church, Bishop David Oyedepo. Obi's media aide, Mr. Val Obenyem, dismissed the leaked video as a fake and a clandestine plot to get him blackmailed so that he will be charged to court for treasonable offences. Kenneth Okonkwo, a spokesperson of the Labour Party campaign, admitted there was indeed a conversation between the two. All right, and Obenyem revealed that a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, who is an indigene of Anambra State but based in Lagos, is heading a team set up to find a way of getting Obi indicted with treasonable charges. We also had this report whereby no fewer than 50 houses were reportedly destroyed by suspected hoodlums in fresh communal clash in Ebonyi State. The incident, which took place at Indefi Isheke village in Ebonyi local government area, threw many innocent members of the community into deep grief and panic. Of course, VOP News gathered that the hoodlums, numbering about over 50, went into 43 compounds situated within a communal land, shot some villagers and destroyed their buildings. Also, 11 persons were injured in the process and 300 households displaced in the affected communities. Now, considering the leaked audio, Peter Obi then responded to that. He stated that it is an alleged conversation between him and the founder of the Living Faith Church worldwide. The audio allegedly had Obi telling Oyedepo that the presidential election was a religious war and that a clergyman should help him beg people in the southwest and Kwara State, especially Christians, to support his ambition. However, in a statement which was personally signed by Obi on Wednesday, it stated that at no point in his issue-based campaign did he ever refer to the election as a religious war. He, however, lamented alleged attempts by the ruling All Progressives Congress to divert attention from our blatantly stolen mandate. That is basically the quote in that response. He said, and I read, "These have come and continue to manifest in different ways, such as the malicious accusations of the Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, the circulation of a fake doctored audio call, and pressure on me to leave the country. Let me reiterate that the audio call being circulated is fake, and at no time throughout the campaign and now did I ever think or even imply that the 2023 election is or was a religious war." End quote. Also, another development took place during the week where the former Nasarawa Deputy Governor, Professor Onje Guayado, was kidnapped in his village in Wamba local government area of the state, where Ado was deputy between 1999 to 2003 under former Governor Abdullahi Adamu. The Commissioner of Police, Nasarawa State Police Command, CP Meyaki Baba, said the command was intensifying search and rescue to rescue the former deputy governor. The commissioner said that he reassured the general public, especially the family of the professor, that effort was ongoing to rescue the victim. Then another development occurred which concerns the unabated killings that occurred in Benue State by headers, and that is the Fulani headers and the members of Benue State. They have left no fewer than 400 persons dead in 3 weeks. President Muhammadu Buhari reacted and said that security agencies are to apprehend the perpetrators and bring them to book. He also condemned the use of terrorism as a tool in intercommunal conflicts. A statement by the Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, noted that the President said all efforts will be made to end the extreme violence. Meanwhile, findings also indicate that apart from last week's incidents, which left over 100 dead, nearly 300 had been killed in the last 3 weeks. The state has witnessed unprecedented attacks on several communities by suspected armed headsmen, which also left many dead. That, of course, is also whereby we now have Chimamanda's letter to President Joe Biden, and of course several reactions, tailed at that particular letter. The reaction from Femi Fani-Kayode, which states that he is a special media project and new media, Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, described the open letter written by the Nigerian writer Chimamanda Adichie to President Joe Biden as an episode of garbage that belongs to the bottom of public toilet. He recalled that Adichie published an open letter titled Nigeria's Hollow Democracy. Why is America congratulating the winner of this disastrous election? The letter was addressed to President Joe Biden on Thursday. The letter, amongst other things, stated that I hope, President Biden, that you do not personally share this cordial condescension. You have spoken of the importance of a global community for democracy and the need to stand up for justice and the rule of law. Also, reacting to the letter, Fani-Kayode described Chimamanda as an overrated and Igbo-centric New Age diva, saying the letter belongs to the bottom of the toilet. He also disclosed that most words he used were, of course, we can actually read them out here completely, but he did say that Nigerians had not learned any lessons, yet the whole situation and the response to the letter that she wrote was overrated and Igbo-centric. He said that it was self-serving, self-seeking, jaundiced, subjective, partial, primitive. There were tribal observations and implausible ethno-religious sentiments on the letter. Still on Chimamanda's letter, we also have the response of Festus Keyamo, who is the spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress, saying that a letter written by Chimamanda to Joe Biden was not worthy of attention. He also addressed allegations of manipulations in the 2023 presidential elections. Adichie, a Nigerian novelist, wrote to President Joe Biden. In the letter, she alleged that the presidential election was marked with discrepancies and irregularities, which she claims were shunned by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Adichie asks Biden to uphold his stance on the need for a true democracy. Now, Kayama responded by saying that the letter reflects a pathetic colonial mentality. It is even more ironic to realize that the same foreign power to which the obsequious appeal is directed to is still grappling with the credibility of its own internal democratic process that produced its present leadership. More tragic is that some rabid supporters are falling over themselves in deluded ecstasy for such a letter that may not even be considered worthy enough in a diplomatic sense. End quote. These are basically the issues that trended during the week, and we just gave you a recap. We'll take a very short break, and then, of course, when we come back, I'll introduce my guests that I have in the studio that will be talking about these issues. We'll get to hear their perspective, and, of course, the way we're going to go about it is for each topic of the conversation. After we're done with that, we'll open the phone lines, you respond, and then we proceed to the next topic. We'll open the phone lines and you respond. That's the process we're going to go by it. It is also important for us to keep our comments civil and logically analyze, objectively respond to these issues. Okay. welcome back. This is the Sunday Spotlight right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Trust me, there were quite a number of issues that trended during the week. We have the issue where a bill was passed for second reading that doctors in the country will definitely serve for 5 years before they'll be given a full license to operate. So the idea is to reduce the brain drain. It's actually a proposed legislation, and it was titled Bill for an Act to Amend the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act. And the lead debate actually is by Johnson, proposing that legislation seeks to cure the exodus of brain drain and build a manpower and medical sector. We also have $800 million, which has been secured by the federal government to cushion the effects of the complete removal of fuel subsidy. I do not know what magic that is going to portend. But first of all, let's start off with this particular conversation concerning Peter Obi's leaked audio. He said he never campaigned on ethnicity, neither did he campaign on religion. And he responded by saying that the specific audio itself is doctored and fake. Now, based on those two responses, I'm asking this question to Barrister Joe Wokedi. Good evening.
Good evening.
I also have CP Chooks in the studio.
Good evening to you.
And I also have Mr. Elvis Ali Mehela as well in the studio.
Good evening, our listeners.
You can see the big wigs I have here. All right. Barrister Joe, Peter Obi said that he is, in his response to the leaked audio, which created diverse reaction across the polity. I think this was on Monday or Tuesday. He responded on Wednesday. The leaked audio was from the weekend into Monday, right? And then, of course, he now responded on Wednesday, which he signed. He actually signed that letter. And he said that in the leaked audio, it was doctored and it was fake. And he said that at no point did he ever campaign on ethnicity or religion. He also said that there are attempts on him to, go on exile, stay out of the country and not be part of, whatever it is that is ongoing here. He also said, let him reiterate, that is to emphasize that the supposed audio that was being circulated is fake, and at no time throughout the campaign and now did he ever think or even imply that the 2023 elections is a religious war. Barrister, in that particular statement, do you think his response is indicting? Because he said that the audio is doctored and fake. When something is doctored, it means there's an element of truth, just that some things were adulterated in that particular response. And then when you say fake means that something is completely false. So looking at his reaction to that leaked audio, I need your response. What do you say to that?
Yes. We followed the whole scenario that played out. And it was published by People's Gazette. Let's just start with that. And the intention was very, very mischievous and acutely malicious, intended to denigrate the personality of Mr. Peter Obi and the revered man of God involved in that, controversy. Reverend Oyedepo. The Peter Obi has come out to say it was doctored. Yes, there might be a conversation between Peter Obi, His Excellency Peter Obi, and of course the man of God. We are quite aware during the campaign. It's also legal. It's also legitimate. It was also allowed within our electoral act for aspirants to go about canvassing for votes, speaking to people, meeting organizations, talking to people of great importance, even the high and the low, interest groups, organized sectors, and so many other people. And in the course of that, he might have interactions. He might have oral interaction, telephone conversations, and other things with the people he may be interacting with. And the law permitted him to also call back for feedback, to also solicit for votes. Say, please come vote for me. Please talk to people within your audience, within your influence, within your control. Please talk to them about my candidacy and all the promises of what I intend to do to the people if actually elected into the office involved. But now, number one is that ought to be something that was discussed in private. And Fundamental Right Enforcement Procedure, Chapter 4 of the Constitution, gave every citizen of Nigeria the right to privacy. you don't have right to board people's cause, assuming but not constitute to the fact that it was even true. The people that actually conducted that maybe interview or whoever that interaction are not supposed to make it public without the express consent and affirmation of the parties involved. Before such will be made public. People don't know the gravity of offense it is.
But the People's Gazette has said that they're ready if they're being sued to provide.
He will still explore that option. And again, if you want to also bring up such audio, you have to get the introductory parts. You have to like get the details of what actually transpired. When we are doing like audio trial in court, you know, you don't just cut and join. Court will tell you if there's any likelihood of something that was caught, and then before you now joined it, court will tell you to produce exactly the details of what transpired before court will rely on that. You don't just when we have it, you know, in the screen and other things, court will be looking at what happened. You don't just cut and something was going on, you cut and join and whatever, because there might be a foundation, there might have been a prelude to what was actually said. Maybe Toby has come up to say it was doctored, meaning that what the discussion that actually went on between him and the revered man of God was not what was brought out. And so he emphasized that throughout his campaign, which we all witnessed, he stated it almost in every place he went to, that nobody should vote for him on the basis of religion or basis of tribe, but on the basis of competence, capacity, integrity, and character. So he has always emphasized on that. Like I said, he visited so many churches. He visited so many traditional rulers. He visited even people in the other faiths, the Muslims, through either himself or by his vice. He talked to people. And he made it open. He visited some of them in the open. They were all covered. They were all in a rally and other things. So for me, the opposition, the ruling party, is just like in a chase or trying to get something to be used to indict Mr. P2B and Labour Party.
Okay.
Because of the present case in court, which although I'm not supposed to discuss it because it's before a court, which they have the responsibility of filing a response, which is their fundamental right, which is their right. They have the right of response. I believe everything should be geared towards going to court to have a strong, well, watertight response or reply to what was filed.
Okay.
So, P2B has said it is doctored. And I learned that the paper that the People's Gazette, they also suspended one of the workers that actually leaked that, come up with that audio. I saw his face on the social media, but I cannot vividly state whether that is the position. The guy has been suspended or not. But the rebuttal of Mr. P2B to that effect is what stands. Anyone that wants to prove anything to the contrary should furnish us with further evidence. Because in most cases, when you release a video or audio and there is a denial, and you believe that denial is just like trying to like cover up what actually transpired, what we should do is to produce further evidence of that clip to show that, look, this is the detail of what actually happened.
So that means the intent was malicious. And
so if actually they have a comprehensive record of what transpired, they would have actually uploaded them. Look at when he started the conversation. Look at how long it took them. Look at everything that happened.
So I think this would be very good for the Labour Party presidential candidates to bring up, this.
Yes, they were by now. I know they will have actually come up with a second version of that publication that will authenticate their claims that it actually was not doctored. But till date, we have not seen that.
CP Chooks, due to that particular response to the leaked audio and the reactions across several quarters, we've also had Femi Fani-Kayode respond. We've had Wole Soyinka respond. For Fani-Kayode, he said that Peter Obi should leave Nigeria and never come back. He is the director of new media for the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council. And he accused, remember that in Obi's letter, he accused the ruling APC and some government agencies of trying to divert the country's attention from the infractions witnessed during the just concluded presidential elections, and including the Guba polls. So speaking ahead of that, anyway, Femi Fani-Kayode said that it is important for Peter Obi to leave the country, as him being around is not doing the country any favor. He actually said that please do us all a big favor and go sooner the better and never come back. And why would that individual, why would Femi Fani-Kayode make such an utterance? Because we've had the what do you call it, Lai Mohammed, when he went to Washington DC. He made a statement there. He said that there are persons who are inciting and making inciting comments, that is to heat up the polity and create instability. We had Channels Television being fined 500 million naira because of
5 million.
5 million naira rather, 5 million naira because of that infraction on a comment that was made by Dati, Baba Ahmed Dati. And one would wonder, if you have issues with what Baba Ahmed said, why don't you write a letter to him and sue him to court rather than the organization? Because Sheun literally said, this is your opinion. And so you now have Femi Fani-Kayode say, please leave the country, do us a favor, leave the country and never come back. Do you think that was the right way to address whatever it is? Maybe his discontent with the leaked audio, or Peter Obi's response to the leaked audio that circulated, that went viral?
Well, if you look at the antecedents of Femi Fani-Kayode, you won't be surprised to see that type of utterance from him. Having said that, what he has said under the law and the Constitution has absolutely no bearing.
Okay.
He was only talking, even though he's a lawyer, he was talking like a politician. And politicians can talk all sorts of rubbish and nonsense just to satisfy their principals or political overlords and masters. And that is exactly what the man was projecting and representing at the same time. As far as what he has said is concerned, it doesn't make any meaning.
Okay.
That's my own take to it.
Okay.
Yes, and that is not sufficient to shake or move the person of Peter Obi, who happens to be the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, nor his deputy or his vice presidential candidate, Ahmed Dati. Anybody can come up and say whatever he or she feels like, just to massage the ego of his principal, to show that he is very hardworking. And I'm sure whoever would have made that callous statement is looking at what is going to benefit at the end of the day when the new government would have been installed. He is just targeting a political position. So he feels that the more he talks, and talks in a way that will make sense. We know a lot of them. They are there talking. They are lucky and so on and so forth. And we are watching. And these are the people, hitting the polity. Instead of them to be realistic and reasonable, considering the situation and the pulse of the nation, they are going beyond bounds and saying things that are unethical, unprofessional, and irresponsible as far as I am concerned.
Okay. Mr. Elvis, in the same particular reaction as well, Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka also made statements concerning Peter Obi's supporters. He said they do not take constructive criticism, neither do they like to be corrected. He said he told Peter Obi that if he loses the elections, it will be because of his supporters. He says they are vile, volatile, do not take do not take corrections, and they're always criticizing and abrasive towards anyone who seems to say something untoward towards their presidential candidate. And so he also made a statement, he called it obedience of fascism, says they don't entertain corrective criticism. And so, of course, you know how the reaction was via social media. The obedience went volatile. The question I'm throwing to you is, do we think the obedience are volatile, just like he says? Are they stubborn? Are they persons who refuse to understand how to go about constructively, responding or reacting to political issues? Is it true that they are very inciting and volatile and possibly ethnic sometimes in their tone?
Thank you, Esther. I think the Nobel laureate should also remember that the obedient are young men and women. They are youths. And these youth have, looked at the perspective about their life for the past 60-something years, and some of them are in their early 20s and 30s and all that. They've seen their father, what they've gone through, and they've seen that for the past 60-something years that this nation has become a nation after independence, it has not worked. So if their parent has handled it, with levity, and it never worked, and now it is their own time, and they have to find another way. That's another case to it. But let's look at it from this angle. If a statement is made, to against Labour Party or the obedient movement, the onus lies that they must come out and respond. And in responding, I think it's their own right. I mean, constitutionally, you have the right, freedom of speech. At least we have a barrister in the house. You are, if you feel if you feel, the whatever the response from the obedient is, it has an effect on you. It is left for you to go to court and let the court say, okay, you have gone beyond, this is libel or whatever. So I expected the Professor William Soyinka to even to be too civilized, to be answering the obedient one after the other. You don't need to use such words fascism on them, because these are Nigerians, especially himself, has been in the political space. We saw a write-up and a photo of him going into a radio station at his time when he was like at the age of disobedience. Now that he is criticizing, he went into a radio station with an arm, put it at the head of the presenter that this is what I say you should announce. I mean, have disobedient done that? This one was done in the 60s, and today he is criticizing children who are also doing they have not even done up to what he has done.
But you would wonder the tenacity of these obedient supporters, how they went to dig particular stuff.
That's what research is all about. That's what we have. That's what we talk about. The modern trend of journalism. Now we talk of analysis. It's not just for you to come and read the news and tell people. People must have to look back. Where is this news coming from? Have we ever had something relating to this situation before in this nation? He spoke. When he spoke, then people now have to go and look into his past and brought out something. My people always have a parable that if you go to the farm and fetch firewood that is infested with ants, you literally invite lizard to your home. So when he made speech, people now say, who is this man that is even attacking the obedient? Who is he? Let's look at him. Then the dog has some things that concerns him. So obedient at this stage, we are happy that the youth want to take over the leadership of this nation. Don't want to go the way their father went. Some of us fought the military when we were students. Some of us said June 12 must stay when we had June 12 election 1993. But after all those ones, here we are today. We got the democracy about 24 years now. Is it better? We should ask ourselves. But we are saying, nascent democracy is still at the tutelage stage. I don't know if you have a child, 5 years is still in primary 1, 10 years is in primary 1, 15 years is talking of primary 2, 25 years is talking of he has not even entered secondary school. How do you rate such child? I don't know whether we are actually talking of rating Nigeria in a progressive trend, or we are looking at, because of our selfish reasons, like some of the statements from Fani Kayode. I read the one of Dele Alake and all others. These are just people who are, trying to fester things. I don't want to use the word sycophants, but we know what they are meant for. They just want the government, this incoming government, to recognize that we have been talking. You know, this is how Lai Mohammed started.
Yes.
Lai Mohammed was an antagonist on Jonathan's government, President Jonathan's government. Eventually, remember the day he got to the house when he was to be scrutinized as screened as a minister. They just, it became like a comedy in the house. They say, he will throw another what do we call it, allegation here now. So he was not even asked questions because they know all the attack. They attacked Jonathan when they were in opposition. There was no name they never called Jonathan's God, kindergarten, clueless, and all of that. At the time, Jonathan came out, I'm the most abused president. But he never told this line that we are seeing
Based
now.
on what Baba Date Ahmed said during that interview, of course, if you remember in 2015, during that same particular medium, that platform, Sharon was interviewing Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, I think, yes. And there were calls for a parallel government.
Yeah,
at
they
the time.
called for parallel government. Baba Bisa Akonde, who another state man, was calling Jonathan's government kindergarten government. There was nothing. They said they were going to El-Rufai. El-Rufai said foreign bodies that will come into this nation, foreign observers, if they don't take time, they will go back. They will go back on body bags.
So just were inciting statements that were made at the time.
They are still alive. Go and look
Treasonable
at.
statements,
these are
actually.
body bags. You know what? But today, what has Dati said that has become an issue? That the television station is being clamped down on. You know, we were talking about this last week. That this coming administration must not gag the press because the press made them. And you cannot get there and climb to the top of the tree. The ladder that helped you, you now broke it up. Somebody else still need to climb that ladder to also get to where you are and even surpass where you are. That's the reason why we are here. We must begin to, set agenda, dissect it, and let Nigerians know the way forward. We can't keep quiet, no matter what the plan.
It was an interesting conversation that actually, buzzed the polity when we were having several reactions concerning the leaked audio. Then the next thing that came on board is concerning the minister, that is Zainab, concerning the 800 million naira subsidy, cushion to cushion
$1 million.
$1 million, actually. She said they have secured 800 million World Bank facility. And she said that is Zainab Ahmed. She's the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. She made that statement on Wednesday where she said that since the fuel subsidy will definitely be removed, in a few months' time, that the money will be used to attend to a segment of post-petroleum subsidy palliatives requirement in the country. And according to her, the $800 million is the first tranche of palliatives to be disbursed through cash transfers to about 50 million Nigerians who belong to the most vulnerable category of society. Barrister Joe, this question is for you. Now, you remember when we had the situation of COVID? We also had when we had the situation of unemployment, where they said they were going to give 5,000 naira to unbanked individuals to in rural communities. Basically, those who do not have access to the banks, those who cannot go out there. They basically, they live communally. What they do is basically just buying and selling and all of that. And we did not see any audits concerning how that money was disbursed. We also had COVID palliatives that were, put out there. We did not see, how those palliatives were disbursed. Instead, we saw them stored in warehouses where eventually people were able to expose them. Now we're hearing about $800 million. She said they have secured. We don't know how they have gone about it or securing it, but she said that they're working on the 2023 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and the Appropriation Act, which made the provision to enable us, that is, enable the government exit fuel subsidy by June 2023. Barrister Joe, what do you think about this development?
It is very, very suspicious. And for me, I don't support it in any form or manner. Going by previous experiences we have had. I remember the time of Ibrahim Mantu under Obasanjo. That was where that terminology, cushioning defect, that was when I had it last. Because there are certain things during Abata's time, I was in school, I learned about autopsy. during Abia last time, I learned about community. There are so many things you will learn with a certain kind of government.
So
Administration. So cushioning the effects. I learned that grammar under Obasanjo when they increased the price of pump price of petroleum products. So they will bring buses and other things and all blah, 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 for them to cushion the effect of that's exercise. But at the end of the day, we saw nothing. It was a ruse. Then the Minister for Disaster Management, and I don't know her name, was the other woman.
Yeah.
She came.
That's Abike, right?
No.
Okay, or Onyema.
No, the Minister for Disaster Management. That woman.
That woman. I remember, I said that they used billions of money for school, COVID and school feeding, school children feeding. And we are asking, when people now came up to show what they were giving to the kids, we were like crying. And then the question was like, who benefited from that? She said she spent, 20 billion or what? A whooping amount of money that shocked the whole Nigerians. And unfortunately, I'm not quite, if I'm wrong, you may correct me. I don't think people from southern Nigeria benefited from that. It was almost 100% done in the north. Who she gave it to, they cannot come out to account for it today.
But she actually came out to grand press conference. That's
billions of money left the coffers. There was one she said she was transferring during 5,000. And he said, what is the mode of transfer of that money? She said it was given in the rural villages where there were no banks. How?
There was even the one that they brought to the public glade, and they started calling. People were lined up and started sharing the money. They brought a heap of money.
So we're not asking who collected that money, but at the end of the day, if you hear the amount of money they will mention, it will be so mind-boggling that it will be so clear to you that this is a channel of siphoning public funds. The process of sharing that money has never been transparent. It has never been properly interrogated. The accounting has not been very, very well given to the people of Nigeria in a way that people will look at it and then say, oh, this represented what actually happened. In some of the places, we don't even know the names of the people. And when some names will just show up, you won't even know whether those names are real names or names they just manufactured and put up figures ahead of them in order to embezzle the funds. So what I'm saying in essence is that borrowing $800 and something million to cushion the effect of subsidy, for me, is adding salt to injury. Because I know quite well that money will not get into the hands of Nigerians. Somebody has said it, if you want a proper system of making the economy to work, you have a particular method of doing that, of injecting money into the system, whereby that money may not directly go into the hands of people sharing 5,000, 10,000. The money will enter into the system, then down the line, the trickle effect of that money will pass through so many facets of the economy, and the cost of doing things in the country will go down. Cost of transfer will go down. Cost of food products in the market will go down. Cost of health care will go down. By the time all these things are down, you don't need to give people money, 5,000, for them to feel the relief from such kind of project you want to implement. Because once someone is using 10, 15,000 to let's say 1,000, 2,000 to go to work, happens to begin to use 500, 700. The person is gaining 500 every day from that reduction in the cost of transportation. So in a month, he has saved 15,000 from previous 1,000 he used to pay. So it is more favorable to him that he's saving 15,000 from cost of transportation or foodstuff or health care. In a month, cumulatively, he would have saved 40,000. That 40,000 has been injected into his account. Instead of that money leaving the account, the money is his account. So Nigeria has become such, I'm so sorry to say this, a notorious kind of people. that you can no longer trust anything they will tell you, especially those in power, those managing the affairs of this country. Take for instance what happened during COVID-19. The palliatives that so many spirited individuals contributed money to donate to the federal government and to the state government. We saw many warehouses where they packed those things. Even after COVID-19, people are still discovering warehouses where they packed those COVID-19. Some of them packed them to use them for elections. Some of them converted them to their birthday gifts. Some of them converted into so many things. Is that the same kind of people you trust? If they want to remove subsidy, for me, they should go ahead and do that. But trying to borrow money, $800 and something million, to add to the humongous debts we already have, which we reasonably believe is money they want to borrow and share and embezzle. They better leave that borrowing, remove the subsidy, and let us face the realities. Let us face the consequences. Because I always tell them that, look, whether you support a candidate because of whatever consideration, whatever thing that might have made you to have a choice of that person, by the time the effect will come, everybody, directly or indirectly, will share from it. It's like a rainfall. Where rain begins to fall, it doesn't select where it enters. It falls on everything within that vicinity that the rain is falling. Whether a house, whether a cow, where anything at all, the rain will fall on top of it. So now they are planning to remove subsidy. At what do we have on ground? We're already having a debt of about 40-point-something trillion. People are already going below poverty level. People are suffering. The cost of materials in the markets are very, very expensive. Some people cannot afford basic needs, basic things that people can comfortably, effortlessly afford. They can't afford them now. And then when you remove this subsidy again, what will the economy be like? But I've told Nigerians, this country will eventually get to the level that will overgrow certain primordial, antiquated and the ancient thinking and ideology and alliances, and begin to discover that, look, we have to be very, very sincere that our leaders are our problems, irrespective of whether they are from your tribe, they are from your religion, or they are from your neighborhood. A bad leader is a bad leader. I was telling somebody one day, if you're supporting somebody because he's from your tribe or from your religion, do you know that the highest number of people that benefit from that person directly within that leadership will not be more than 1,000? I say indirectly, give it like 10,000. But a tribe in Nigeria is made up of about 30 or 40 million. I said the remaining people will suffer what every other person suffers. So go to Katsina. Buhari has been president for 8 years. How many people from Katsina benefited from that presidency? The highest people that may benefit from presidency in Katsina directly from Buhari may not be more than 2,000. The rest of the Katsina people are suffering what every other Nigerian is suffering. The only name they have there is that Buhari is from our states. But does that make your life better? Because that same Katsina man will leave Katsina and go to Kano. That is from Katsina will not change the price of commodities in Kano, will not change the cost of transporting he will meet in Jigawa, will not change the kind of terrorists or bandits that will face him in Nasarawa or in Zamfara or in Kaduna. No, it doesn't change it. Or maybe attacks he'll get from whatever menace that might be in the east or non-government and other things or in southwest. That will not, that he's a Katsina person, does not remove him from all those things. Though those societal ills we still have their full toes on him. So until we realize this and begin to interrogate and question our leaders, not just confronting them. I'm surprised some people are saying that obedience are vulgar, obedience are attack, and have attack mode, obedience are... Look, Nigeria is no longer a country that people will become gentle. I think a fella said about gentleman. I know be gentleman at all. Anybody in Nigeria is not supposed to be gentleman again, because the level of people we are facing, they have gone ahead of us in terms of perfecting evil and perpetrating sin. So if we cannot match them with the level of ferocity, we cannot get this country redeemed from the unfathomable pit they have gradually but consistently drag this country into. You don't know what I'm saying.
All right. So you can be part of the conversation, right? This time around, we would appreciate your phone calls, 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. You can actually send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. CP Chooks, this next question is to you concerning the brain drain, in the medical sector, whereby the House of Representatives at plenary passed through second reading a bill to mandate medical doctors to practice in Nigeria for at least 5 years before moving abroad if they want. So you recall that over time, our medical doctors and medical practitioners, whenever there is any grant, whenever there seems to be like a scholarship or any opportunity through which they travel out of the country, they take it up. And then we see that our health sector has suffered a lot. They've experienced several strikes. They've asked for their emoluments. They've asked for their salaries, which has been withheld in so many instances. And in order to put their call forward, they go on strike. The people suffer. People die in that regard, in that respect. Even the private medical institutions, that is the ones where you pay a lot of money, it is not still safe to say that if you go there, whatever illness you are experiencing or you have will definitely be cured. They will definitely refer you sometimes to the, public hospitals, like the general hospitals. And now they are literally restricting doctors, medical practitioners, to stay here for 5 years before they'll be given any license. And if they want to travel out of the country, they will travel. Would we call that freedom of movement? Would we say they are being restricted? Because it's a democratic society, isn't it?
It is.
You're free to do what you want to do. If you feel that you study here and the conditions here are not beneficial to you, you take your, pack your load and go if you want to go. But they are saying that this will restrict doctors from traveling out of the country. How about addressing what needs to be addressed to discourage these medical practitioners from seeking greener pastures outside? Shouldn't that be what the House of Plenary, the House of Representatives, isn't that what they're supposed to look into?
Well, that proposal by the House of Representatives, as far as the reality is concerned, will be dead on arrival. Mark my word. Because at the end of the day, whether they end up passing that into a law or bill, one is to do the passage and another is for it to be realized. If you look at the Constitution, sections 33 to 45 on fundamental human rights, you cannot stop people from moving so long as he has graduated from the medical institution or medical school and is certificated and has possibly gone through the house job or housemanship. He owes you no explanation, or he or she will not expect you to permit him to seek for greener pasture outside the shores of the country. So the way they will gag them is what we are all watching on how the thing will unfold. So it's like sometimes those of them in the House of, whether you call it National Assembly generally. I think they are being overzealous and at the same time overestimating the extent they can go with legislations.
All right.
There are certain things they normally do that already cause the integrity of the National Assembly. In fact, at this point in time, just like the Learned Counsel said, Elvis said, that we are talking of nascent democracy. We have done 25 years, we are still in, is it primary 2 or primary 3? That's exactly what we are seeing in the National Assembly and all other facets of our national life.
So let's move to the next conversation, because I want us to have the opportunity to take as many calls as possible, so when they call in, they know what they're reacting to. Mr. Elvis, this question is for you. It's concerning the Benue killings. If you hear the report of Benue, I don't understand. I don't know. I hope we can title it Benue Massacre. Is it an ethnic cleansing or what? As of now, 400 have died in 3 weeks. It's so bad that this headsman went into the Fulani camp. I am trying to understand, have a grasp. We have our National Intelligence Agency. We have the DSS. We have the military. We have the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police are actually into almost like they're like a SWAT kind of team. This Benue massacre, especially in the 8 years that Samuel Otam has been the governor of that state, I will tell you that the number of deaths that has occurred there is more than this number that we've seen here. It's so bad that on Tuesday, these headsmen came killed. On Wednesday, mourners were trying to bury those that were killed on Tuesday. These headsmen came back to kill those who were mourning. Went to the IDP camps as well. In fact, Samuel Otom seems weak. He doesn't know what to do. Please, what exactly is the problem? What is going on in Benue? And why haven't we seen an invasive, an immediate invasive reaction from the Nigerian military and from the federal government to this issue going on in Benue? You need to see how the residents were crying. What is going on?
Esther, there is a popular saying that the person that stole your property, if he's assisting you to look for it, you may not find it. It's a big question. We have to ask this government what is actually going on in Benue. You know, to drive home what we are discussing here, like, you know, we're talking about let me just quickly brush on that, because that $800 million is really sounding on my ear too bad, Esther. Before we get to this Benue matter, I want to brush it up. $800 million that is going to be used for subsidy, I see it parting gift for the boys. That's how I see it. This administration is rolling off. I don't know why they will not begin to plan for the incoming administration. They are rolling off. They should begin to talk of how to finish their transition program and handover. May 29 is at hand. It is not then that they should be talking of how the subsidy will be removed and how Nigerians will be palliated. It's no longer their business. This $800 million is parting gift for the boys. At least they've done 8 years, so they should share this and go. That's my own take on that. The disaster minister, Sadia Umar Farouk, that we're looking at, the woman should be able to tell us how much has been spent on. You know, they used to have a program they call the trader money.
Yes, the trader money.
Today, nobody is telling us whether the traders are paying back or they are not paying back. It is just
there's no follow-up on that.
No follow-up on that. That one is completely dead. They told us that even on holidays, students are being fed in Nigeria. Here, pupils are being fed. I don't know how many you and I want people who are benefiting, the vulnerable Nigerians, the poor, the poorest of the poorest. At least we are opening up the phone line. People should call that, okay, a member of my family name is in that 50 million they said they are going to give this money to. At least this is the national radio. Let Nigerians call. Oh, I've seen somebody that his name is in that list. And what was the modality in drawing out that list? They should tell us. I don't know how they came about the 50 million. Because if you look at Nigeria, we are told 100 and something million Nigeria are in multiple diverse poverty of all in totality. So I don't know. I think this government that is going has so many questions to answer before they go, because they never even believed in subsidy when they were coming in 2015. But today we see that trillions are now being used to service subsidy. But come to Benue matter, it is an issue that, like I said, if your property is missing, those that are helping you to look for it, if it's in their possession, you may not get it. This question must be asked. Why Benue? Or rather, why that North Central? We have seen killing in Plateau. We've seen in Benue. We've seen in Taraba. We've seen in Nasarawa. What is going on along that flank? We should begin to ask. Is it that a tribe or a region is just going to be taken off? Are they going? Do they want to wipe it off? You know, sometimes when we are talking on radio or television, they say don't mention tribe. Yes, I know when you are talking about Fulani, it's just that my people say when one finger takes oil, it spread it to the rest. Yeah, there are some bad ones. There is no tribe that does not have bad ones. But now, the name Fulani herdsmen, we know them that we are calling them by their profession. They are not our headers. That's why he quickly come to us as Fulani herdsmen. It could be for good, it could be for bad. Whichever way where you find yourself, let them come and explain to us what is happening in Benue. I saw practically the governor of Benue. All this why when it happened, we will be abusing everybody, calling Buhari names and all that. But this time around, 2 days yesterday, I saw this man begging the federal government to release troops to protect his people. But come to think of it, Benue set up a vigilante group some months ago. This vigilante group, if the DSS cannot do their job, because DSS has now become stooge to the politicians, they are now the ones that are looking for politicians that are talking about telling government to arrest. They are now the ones that are talking about politicians that made so any Nigerian that made statement that the election was flawed, election was greeted with so much irregularities. They are the ones that are now arresting. They can easily arrest and detect those ones.
You remember during the first lady, there was a time somebody on Twitter said something about this person. The DSS were quick to track that individual down.
They went as far as I think Jigawa.
To track that young boy down.
Bring that boy and bring him to Abuja. 2
instances have happened like that. We have Ezigbo of Ajao Estate, who made a comment, and at midnight on Saturday, 1 a.m. or so,
came to swap
they
on
said
him
he left his house and then he went to somewhere at age and he was caught.
Yes.
So if the DSS
can be so proactive in this,
why are we not seeing that level of proactiveness?
That's why I told you. That's why I said, if the person that steals your property is assisting you to look for it, you may not get it. We should ask Buhari what is going on with the people of Benue. Imagine people in IDP camp that have been languishing in IDP camp were attacked 2 days ago. 50-something were murdered in cold blood. Is it not pathetic to be mentioning things of this nature? And yet we said we have all the security paraphernalia. We just mentioned some DSS, SSS, whatever name, policemen and whatever. But if they are escorting a politician, they chase us off from the road with their siren and all that, with their AK-47. Now, the people that pay tax for those ammunition or whatever equipment to be bought for you to use are now being killed, mercilessly. Yet nobody is talking about it. The only thing we see, investigation is going on. We sympathize. How many investigations have we gotten to the root in Nigeria and somebody is prosecuted and jailed? Have you heard? I've not heard.
Barrister
So
Joe,
where are we in this matter? I don't know, but I pray that whatever we are saying here is setting agenda. The incoming government, will this kind of killing continue again?
Barrister
And
Joe,
if it does, what are you telling the people of that region?
Barrister Joe, this next question is for you. CP, I'm still coming to you. Now, the worst hit in the recent attacks in communities in the Benue South District, the home of Idoma-speaking people, is Akpa, Agatu, Otupo axis of the area. And they're the ones that are accounting for majority of the casualties. Several sources in the community said so far now about 250 deaths. No fewer than 17 persons have lost their lives. Agatu local government area, which used to be the epicenter of header incursions in Benue South, recorded minimal attacks with about 30 casualties. Other places affected include Ikpobi, Odugbo, Ubobi, Apanta, Ologba, Oyiji, and Imana in Akwa local government area. Churches as well. In fact, a worshipper was also killed. So there have been several communities in Benue State that have been attacked by these headers. Again, I'm asking this question. Is there an ethnic cleansing ongoing? The attacks have become so incessant, sporadic, abrasive. I don't have the right word to contextualize it, because we're in a state where we see these brazen attacks currently ongoing. We're not seeing that immediacy in tackling this issue.
For me, like my brother here said, there is every indication of conspiracy. If you call it ethnic cleansing, you may not be entirely out of it. Because I remember I did my NYSC in Plateau State. So I know that trend to a certain extent. I know Forest, I know Riom, I know the roots there. I know up to Nasota, Kwanga, I know that those places. up to that Benue and it's the routes that I used when I was serving. And I was part of the people. So I said I won State Honors Award. I had projects and everything. So I mixed up with them. Not like all this NYSC fine boy, come, go to your CDS, come back, come, go. I mixed up. So the point is like, I think this thing has to do with, if we are going to look at the major issue, it has historical background. According to somebody, I was like asking what is the problem. The person told me that it was like unfinished battle. That Jihad, Ottoman Danfodio and the rest of them, that actually wanted to conquer the rest of the axis. We are stopped within that Benue Plateau terrain. And they were defeated. And someone said that the last battle there was where Ottoman Danfodio sustained an injury. An arrow that pierced him. And later died 4 days after. That arrow within that Benue axis. So I don't know, his people may have histories being transmitted to generations. And now wondering, is that why they are still attacking? They say, yes, some of them still want to like revenge on that defeat, or why they were stopped from conquering the people down south, that we actually defeated and stopped within that Benue Plateau axis. The other person I spoke to again told me that these are itinerant Fulanese, the headers, that they are having issue of drought, and they're looking for an avenue to Benue. Is like Benue is like
issue of what?
Drought.
Okay, drought. Okay.
Drought.
Okay.
They are looking for a place to have access to rivers and to fertile lands with green leaves and everything, pastures that will enable them to feed their flocks. And in their belief, the only place they come into is their own, that nobody owns any land. And so also having it in mind that some are saying that Fulanese are the owners of Nigeria. So that any place they want to settle, that they will be allowed to settle there and do whatever they want to do there without anybody disturbing them or without anybody asking them, why are you doing this? So when you look at all these mindsets and put them together vis-a-vis what is going on, you may begin to believe them, even if they are mites. Because you ask yourself, what offense did Benue people commit? What offense did they commit? They are in their homeland. If somebody is not claiming ownership of that place by whichever might or whatever, why would that person have that audacity, that impudence to like fight somebody in his own land, kill him, take over the land? Some of them, that most of the places that they have those people actually vacated as a result of those killings, that they have become inhabited by the headers that chase them out of those places. So you can see there is this kind of agenda to expand and occupy. The federal government, on the other hand, I was telling people that, look, the problem we have in Nigeria, it's not that we have a country, but we are yet to begin to behave as a country. Because in any country where the law is not supreme, where security apparatus work according to the dictates of the office holders, that country cannot grow. I asked them, do you know why people are always fighting for their tribal man or their tribal person to be in power? Because they don't want to abide by what the law says. They want to contravene the law and use tribalism to escape from being punished. Oh, that man there is an Igbo man. Let's go there. It's my brother. I know what I will tell him. He is not telling that Igbo man to do justice. He wants to talk to him as an Igbo man to enable him to escape from the wrong he has done. Oh, the Fulani Yoruba man, Ebon, when we get there, it's our brother that is there. They want to use that man that's their brother to truncate justice. That's why when I talk about, do you think all these people fighting for tribalism, they don't know what they're doing? They want to commit offenses, commit fraud, embezzle money in companies and offices, do a lot of things, kill people, and use their tribal people to get away from being punished. That is only why they are supporting that tribalism. It's not because they want the country to grow. If they want to commit offenses, frauds, go against the law, commit killings. Because we have seen instances. I saw one thing that somebody posted to me, something that happened in the Lekki axis where they burnt an artist. And the man that investigated that, people knew those names of those that burnt that man alive in Lekki. and he has the names. But they called him to submit, DSS forced him to submit the names. And after a while, he said after pressure...
Is it not the sound engineer?
Yes, the
sound engineer.
And then by the time the name came out, it was a different name than he saw. The man resigned. He did not, people that actually committed the offense, they changed it and mixed up with so many names of people that knew nothing about what happened. And then those that actually committed the offense that are supposed to be punished by the law of the land escaped. That is the essence of tribalism in Nigeria. The killings in Plateau, there was a time that we have such a killings in Plateau.
Yes.
I told you I served there.
2000.
I have my boys there. Farlamba,
2004,
Mangu,
2003, 2004.
Marabanjama. I know them very well. Bukuru, I know them. Yes. I served there as a copper. I was attached to local government chairman there. Local government chairman. I taught in one school. I know them. There was a man that was posted there from southern Nigeria here in charge of their military command there, their military base. And automatically the killing stopped. The moment they removed that man from that unit and brought someone again, we have to be very, very frank, and brought somebody from Connaught, a Muslim Connaught, the killing started again. And they began to shout, change this man. There's no killing in Plateau now. Maybe the man there now might not be from there, certain places. And some people are saying that before the killings will come, there will be like a discussion in communication. And after the killings, the number of the GOC or the commander will start going again. Today, Jonah Jang, the former governor, accused the GOC commanding Plateau that I called your number several, it was switched off throughout the whole of operation and killing of our people. Nobody did not answer. I called the presidency, nobody picked my call. After the killings, 1 hour after the killings, all your phone numbers began to work. Wow. Is that not conspiracy? Why are you killing your fellow Nigerians? Why are you killing your fellow people? What do you stand to gain? If you are a header, you can as well do it and respect the people there. They can give you a place. You can get an area you can stay and do whatever you want to do. Make your own money as your private business and go.
Let's take this phone call.
So we have to know that's conspiracy.
Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, good evening. I can hear you.
Yes, you said your name is?
I'm Mr. Solomon from Alagbado.
Mr. Solomon, how are you today? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, my sister. Bless God.
All right.
This your program, I've been following all you people have been saying since, and I'm very, very happy. At least that people that are telling us the truth. This is very government. I don't know where they are leading us to. I don't really know. Nothing is working. As the other speaker said, what he said, the money, the $800 million is a parting gift for the boys. The palliatives they promise, nobody has ever gained anything. Let them stop deceiving us. We are tired. Everybody is suffering. We are suffering and smiling according to Salah. We are suffering and smiling. The pain is too much. The pain, the agony. Now, look at with all you have analyzed, I feel so tired. I don't know. I feel so tired. Let this government, let them tell us a simple truth. Let them tell us a simple truth and let them stop the killing. Let them stop all this killing. Look at the number of sons waiting, all because of tribalism. My brother is here. I'm a true animal and this and that. It's bad. What they are doing there is human beings, not animals. It's human beings. Please let the authority do something. Let them stop these killings. And let the government tell us the simple truth. This $800 million, is it a parting gift for the boys? Or what are they really going to do with the money? Because as they said before, we've never seen anything that comes out of it. That's just it. That's my contribution. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. We've had this person calling on WhatsApp. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from the Gambia,
right.
West Africa.
Okay. What's your name, please?
Mr. James.
Mr. James. All right. Mr. James, please go ahead.
I'm a Nigerian living here in the Gambia. I just want to ask a very short question. Any of those three guys can answer my question.
All right.
The country has collapsed. Why are we refusing to reconcile ourselves with reality? That is the question, please. Thank you very much for your effort.
All right. Thank you. Did you hear his question?
Yeah, collapsed.
He said the country has collapsed.
Wow, we refusing to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the country has not collapsed, Mr. James.
Has not collapsed totally.
Yes.
It has not collapsed totally.
That's how we put it.
No. We are
It has
here.
collapsed, but
we
not
are
totally.
here- We are here to let Nigerians know what is going on, and I thank God that this program cut across the globe, not just Nigerians. Look at where it came from.
Yes.
So I thank God that we still have opportunity to move and still be able to go about our normal
Exactly,
businesses.
because that's what entails a collapsed
So
country.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why I don't want to use that word collapse.
We've not collapsed.
The country has not collapsed. We are looking at what has brought us to this level we are and how we are going to come out of it. That's what we are looking at. Okay, we've just had an election and we are waiting for a new government to come in by May 29th. I don't want us to begin to talk about courts. That can come in whatever form. But the one that we've known now is that a new government is going to come up as from May 29th. If all that failed in this administration that is going, a new government comes in by May 29th and they are able to salvage it, we go ahead. We saw Rwanda in 1994. One would have said the country completely collapsed. But today, Paul Kagame came in and I made Rwanda now a country in Africa where everybody is like, "Sisi knows you now. I want to see what is going on in Rwanda." People so let the government that is coming in know that there are monumental problems, challenges that needed to be tackled urgently, not with levity, not with tribal whatever sentiment, religious sentiment or whatever, not even with all these line of speakers.
All right. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to Voice of the People 90.3 FM. What's your name, please?
Thank you very much. My name is Sam.
Sam. Location, please,
Yes.
Sam.
I'm calling from Ijesha.
From where?
Kesha.
Ijesha.
Ijesha. Okay. All right. Go ahead,
Yes. Please, I want to ask the people there. They say the country has not collapsed. So I want to know what are the things that will happen before one will know that the country has collapsed. And as they say the country has not collapsed, what are the things that they are looking at? They will say, okay, this country can still be, or things can still be amended in this country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. CP Chicks, you want to respond to that?
Well, he cannot make a straight statement that the country has collapsed because we still have industrial and economic activities going on.
And you and I can still move.
Yes,
At
and
least to
people,
some extent.
yes, and people are still moving around. So it doesn't hold any water that the economy has collapsed totally. But be that as it may, when you look at the situation generally, the level of inflation is very, very high. And
Anger. There's anger.
there's so much
CP.
anger. There is hunger.
There's hunger.
There is poverty. Well, there's a lot to attend to. Let us hope that,
But they are surmountable.
let's see how it will go.
Hey.
0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You can actually send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and location, please. Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, you sound far from your phone. Did you put me on speaker?
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You see, Nigerian condition.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is
Okay, I can't hear this caller very well. Please, when you do call, put your let's be able to hear you well. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. What's your name?
My name is Awokule Oscar Oluwafisayo.
Awokule, can you kindly turn off the audio of your radio completely? I can hear myself.
I'm already far from me.
Hello?
Hello?
I can hear myself. Turn off the audio of your radio.
I'm far away from it.
Okay. Continue. What do you want to say?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. It's an opportunity for me to be able to contribute to this discussion going on concerning Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have any problem.
Okay.
The people in the country are the one causing trouble.
All right.
I am 53 years today. Let me tell you, I thought that before I clock 40, I will be relaxing. But that is just my own personal dream.
Okay.
But to come back to Nigeria, we have good people in this country, and we have bad people in this country. I just heard somebody said Nigeria collapsing. That is their own dream. That is not my dream, and that is not many people's dream. Anybody can use his mouth to say anything. Are you a true Nigerian? That is the question. If you are a true Nigerian, you will know what to say concerning your country. You will know what to say. You will know how to back your country up. You will not look down on your country and say that Nigeria collapsing. If Nigeria collapse, you collapse, your family collapse, everything that concerns you collapse. What is your gain? What did you gain? I think we should be able to think before we talk. This is the only country God Almighty has given to us. And then people are saying rubbish from their mouth just because they can speak English.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All right. I think everyone is entitled to their opinion, just like you calling to give us your own opinion. It is not proper for you to denigrate or be condescending towards other people's opinion. So when you call in on the program, you can actually tell us what you think on the conversations we are having, or generally the issues ongoing in the polity, not to denigrate, insult, or humiliate any other person's comment. All right, please, let's try to be civil in our responses. It is important. We're trying to uphold and stabilize the polity. We try as much as possible to bring out these issues trending in the front burner because we're keeping ourselves abreast with what is going on. And like Mr. Elvis said, we're setting an agenda. Possibly those in the government can listen, pay attention, and do the needful as soon as possible. It's a bloody Easter in Benue, where about 250 persons for now, that is the recorded death. And almost 400 persons, of course, have died in 3 weeks. This is the reality of the situation. People are dying. And where are the authorities? We have the DSS, we have the Nigerian military, we have the police force, possibly the Navy. We also have the intelligence. We have the intelligence units too. And the NCDC.
Civil Defense Corps.
The civil, exactly. So what is that? There's supposed to be a formation, a strategic formation addressing the problem in Benue. And of course, there's meant to be a deployment, a strategic deployment from all these units, you understand, across
synergy.
Immediately. So that's the question we're asking. What exactly is going on? I know that the elections just got concluded and we're looking at political elites giving the back and forth risk, but these are the realistic issues. Persons are dying. So how is this being addressed? How meticulous are we with addressing these issues? That is basically what the political spotlight is all about. We put a spotlight on most of the issues, trending in the polity. I'll bring you back again to this conversation, Barrister Joe Wokedi. As regards with Benue, back again. We have had instances. Somebody just sent a comment on YouTube. This person actually said that so far we've had a very disastrous reaction and record when we talk about what has transpired in Benue. If we look at the numbers of persons so far that have died, the person said about 5,000 ever since Samuel Otom came on board. 5,000 persons. This person has actually done a calculation. And then we're wondering exactly, how did it get to this point? How did we allow ourselves get to this point? How did the government allow this get to this point?
Esther, I know the barrister is going to come in. Barristers, sorry. I think why I just want to, in line with what Esther is saying, I want you to come from the legal angle. When a state governor is bearing the name executive governor of a state, but everything that made him to become an executive is not given to him, especially the security. We should be able to start telling the 10th National Assembly that is coming on, let them find a way to make governors of each state be as executive as possible. A situation where the governor will see something, you made mention of phone calls being switched off. At least if he has his own state police, I don't think his own commissioner will switch off his phone, because he knows that the governor, who is his boss, can call him anytime. Because of the federal mind that they are sent into these states, they take order from the federal in Abuja. They can rubbish all the orders from the state that the governor is being called executive. I think the next national assembly that is coming up,
that's the time.
Yeah, we have to begin to look at this. State police should come. It can't be worse than what we are seeing now. We are seeing intimidation even when there is no state police. We saw what happened in this election. So let us begin to set agenda for the 10th National Assembly and the next government that is coming in, so that this killing can be minimized. If the federal government cannot do it, state should be able to do it. If the state cannot do it, let local government assist the state to do it.
All right.
Yeah, that's where it boils down to the issue of country getting collapse and not having collapsed totally. I want to respond to the young man saying Nigeria is good. I don't know from the perspective he's viewing Nigeria. Maybe he's benefiting from the rot. But once somebody is benefiting from any bad government or any irresponsible government, it doesn't seem bad to him. But the people always accuse people of Nigeria of not being Nigerian enough. You made mention of Rwanda. From the top, the president began to put things right. And naturally, everybody in Rwanda had a change of mind, began to do what is right, because they are looking up to the president as the image maker of the country. And that is what every country is all about. Look at the issue we are bringing to the front burner, the issue of killings in Benue. The president has not deemed it fit to read the Riots Act in that Benue. How do you now expect Nigeria as good people that we will keep on praising the country? The country is good. Why we are calling our country's name? If we don't call our country's name, if we don't read all these issues, how will the people in authority even know that we know what is going on?
Exactly.
If somebody will beat you and beat you black and blue, and you clean your body and start singing hallelujah in the highest, that person will stab you. He will even kill you without anybody knowing about that. You need to shout. Things are not going well in Nigeria, and people must speak out, because the way it is going, God forbid, if the next administration we told a part of the outgoing administration, it will collapse completely. Because now, when indices of a collapsed country are already showing up in Nigeria. Now, the security apparatus are 100% compromised. They're no longer independent institutions serving the people. They are now serving the interests of political office holders. Now, judiciary is in dire threat, in a very, very terrible crossroad. Nigerians don't have 100. Nigerians don't have confidence in the judiciary again. They don't believe that if anything goes to court, justice will prevail. Judiciary is now dishing out judgments and no longer justice, to the extent that even lawyers don't even know whether you have a good case, a bad case at all. You don't know that. That's another arm of government. The legislative arm, you just made mention of now, is also facing serious challenge. That certain laws might be passed, certain issues are influenced. We know when we are confirming polls and take a bow, these are people that should be interrogated, questioned, and their nomination, rejected. But the presidency will call and they'll say take a bow and you go. Is that how when the executive arm is having serious issue, security apparatus will say their hands are tied. I know of a situation.
We do have a call.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
I'll conclude this. Hands are tied.
Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening. All right, 0700 903 903 903. That is a number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Name and location, please.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Ikotun.
Ikotun, okay. What's your name?
Yeah. My name is Festus Osadel.
Festus, can you kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please? The audio volume of your radio. The audio, just turn it down completely.
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
And that lawyer, you have said it all.
Thank you so much.
Everything you have said is what is happening. Now, something is happening at Benue. What I want to ask, because I will remember during the time of Anini, when Babangida said, I give you 1 week to look for Anini. Ekimiyan resigned. Now, when he resigned, he ordered the Oba of Benin, Oba Rediawa. So he gave him 1 week. I think the third day, Wednesday, he got Anini. So what I'm trying to say is, what of these elderly people, the MN, the chief, the officers in that place, can they be arrested in this country? Those are the people that causing those problems in that place. So I don't know how we are going to do it, except they are arrested.
All right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 0700 903 903 903. That is a number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And of course, we do have some WhatsApp messages here. And this is from Egege from Agege. As far as I'm concerned, the recently concluded general election was a bunch of embarrassment to the majority of Nigerians and the world in general. Since I was born, now close to 60 years of age, I have never witnessed an election as highly compromised by INEC as the recently concluded one. Even the blind would agree to this. My appeal is, let the judiciary handle the electoral cases in their care with utmost clarity and fear of God. Thank you so much, Egege, for that particular response. I do appreciate that. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. And of course, you can actually send us a WhatsApp message. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, sir, please.
Okay. Sorry. My name is Emmanuel. I'm Emmanuel from Okafa.
Emmanuel, how are you this evening? Happy Easter.
I'm fine. I had sent to you, my dear.
All right, go ahead.
I'm very happy to get you people this evening.
Okay.
The country called Nigeria, in which we are one of them, is a terrible country I never see. Because my reason is that I thought when they mentioned this party that is win election now, Nigeria, everybody will desert. They look at people, Luago, they follow them. Now, when they enter 2015, they promise heaven and earth. And I don't know the one that they fulfill up to today and the one they didn't. The same APC enter again, even though they didn't hold their brooms this time. But the same APC, I don't know the changes we are going to get, because when we say another government, new government coming, I don't know what is different from the APC before and the present APC. I don't know. I never understand that kind of system. So we are now trying to enter from fire pan to fire. But our prayers still, the only joy I'm having is that God is in his throne watching everything. Now coming to Benue of 18. Benue, this country, you get order from Abuja. And the man in Abuja are not interested. Once they enter into that Asurok, The moment they will go struggle, fight, propaganda, and enter there, no more. They know themselves, and it's only them they are looking after. They don't care about what Nigeria is saying again. They're not interested again. They're only interested within themselves. And this is, I'm not seeing any government because I'm an old man, almost 70. Before, when government is moving, you will start seeing something. When they say government have they approve a budget, the next year you see the budget rolling. But this time around, when they mention that trillions of money, and you cannot see any sign from Nigerian citizens, and that is where I come to. I'm afraid for youth. Then, but I know that nothing past God. They will still take them away from us, and we will gain our country back. All this killing here and there is too much, and I don't know how we are going to survive it. But I know that God is in His throne, watching everything that is going on. Human being, we only have a very temporary time to spend here on earth, but they don't think about that one. So thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. And you can send a WhatsApp message to 0700 903 903 9. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Name and location, please.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel?
Yes. Okay, from Ilasamada.
Okay, Emmanuel. Go ahead, please.
All right. Let me thank you all for your time, you understand, and for having the passion for a new Nigeria. I believe that with work and prayer, God will take us to that promised land. I believe so. So one of the major reasons why Nigeria is where it is today is because of politicization of every sector. Every sector has been politicized and compromised. And once there is a huge compromise in an entire system, you understand, ethnicity and religion will become a tool for fighting against or resisting whatever will make that country become a better place. It's nothing as true as that. Because if you have one man who can stand up today within that same party, ruling Nigeria now, so say this is the truth. The problem where Nigeria is today is because it has been compromised with politics, and nobody is ready to see the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And secondly, the only thing I will just keep telling us is this: let every one of us, no matter our religion, no matter our tribe, let us always focus on what will make Nigeria better. Because with the last elections I saw, the tribal sentiment made it look like it's what people are more interested in making Nigeria. You see, that is the major problem. Forget about if they can only swallow their religion or ethnic or whatever, we will move ahead far better.
All
and
right.
thirdly,
Thank you.
Finally, forget about judiciary or court going. Let the three of them now, who are the three last first to third, let them come on national TV now. All the presidential candidates. Let them, all these questions, your men there in the studio, write every area of Nigeria where we're having issues. Let Nigeria become that conference you are talking about. Let the three of them stay on national TV. Let us question them from morning till night.
From morning till night, okay.
Yes, because they are going to work for us from morning till night. Nobody's going to work 1 hour or 2 hours. We are ready, we will wait. All civilization, focus on them. Three of them, bring all the questions, local and translations, economy, education, youth, health, everywhere. Bring all the questions. Those people running away before, let them come and stand up. Forget about it. That's about it. Go, everybody will stay on TV.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call.
So the issue of the legal perspective to that security issue, state police. You know why some people are adamant about it. You know, when we have regional governments in Nigeria, I think they have access to state police. But at the point we hear that Awolo was banned from attending to campaigns in the north. Zeke was banned from coming to West. Michael Akpala was banned not to come to Ibadan. and all these other things. Do you know why? Because of the use of state police. It was they abused it. The local authorities abused use of that state police. People advocate for state police. I'm not against it, but that implementation is where there will be a problem. Because Nigeria is a country that is so polarized in terms of ethnicity and religion. If we begin to implement the use of state police and we are not very careful about it, people that are not from that particular place may not get justice at all. It will be an instrument of brutalization, intimidation, harassment, denial, and deprivation of justice. That is only, except if we have a system that will be like an appellate system. That when you go to state police and they do what you don't like, you appeal to federal police. When you go to federal police, they don't do what you like, you appeal to another authority. But we have a state police that is absolute under the governor in terms of control and everything. Even the opposition parties in that state, my brother, may not be spared. Certain things are very, very good in Nigeria. But the problem we have is the implementation. Somebody said that science is a fantastic discovery, but it works in the hand of the person that holds it. A gun is a fantastic instrument, but if before this our CP here, a gun is safe. Before it was smoker inside the ocean, tramadol smoker, gun is a very dangerous weapon. But they are the same gun, but in different hands, with different ways of handling it.
Okay.
So that's the most, like one of the callers said, the most important thing we have to do in Nigeria. One is our political office leaders. They have to outgrow sentiment, emotion, tribalism, and religion, and begin to focus on justice. What is just, what is fair, what is equitable, and what is justiciable.
Okay.
If we begin to do that within one year, let me tell you, Nigerians are very hardworking people. When they discover that these things are working, that people are treated with fairness and equity, irrespective of where they come from. I know, I don't want to mention them. There was a man that was elected in my school when I was in University of Nigeria. The first person that he used to set example was his classmates living inside the hostel that had issue with another person from another faculty. And that faculty was the faculty he ran the election with that gave him the greatest trouble. And his classmate was one of his major sponsors and supporter. But what happened, he had issue with someone from that faculty, and the person said that his classmate was the one that breached the law, and the law should take care of him.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening. Name and location, please.
Please, my name is Odaleko.
All right. Location?
Yes, I'm calling from Benue State.
From Benue? Very good.
Yeah.
Kindly tell us exactly what the situation is in Benue.
The situation is that I don't think the federal government values Benue State anymore.
You say you don't think what?
I don't think the federal government values Benue State anymore, because it happened in my local government.
What local government is? What local government are you from?
Village, I'm from Otupo.
Otupo,
area.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm close to the place, Agatu area. It happened in Agatu area. And I also have a brother there. But what will happen now is that we are best. We Benue boys, we are not even happy at all. We don't even think we are part of Nigeria now.
Exactly.
You know, as it is now. As it is now, as it is now, we can't continue like this again.
But the question is, can you tell me the state of that area now? How did these guys come in to invade your community and kill people?
We don't know where they come from. If they know that yes, this is how. This anytime they know that Benue will relax, because we are Christians there. We celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Easter. Anytime they know that these people will be okay, these people will be at home every time celebrating that, they will come around. They do come, they have chance. They have chance. They don't come physical. French people, they don't come physical.
Okay, they come with some.
Most of them, the first time was maybe they do hide inside all those trees, like all those banana trees or whatever.
Okay.
They do hide inside. They will hide inside. Maybe in the middle of the night they will come out. But when we get the secret, we normally clear it. Anywhere we see banana tree, we clear it. Anywhere we see all those potato or whatever, we just like what is it called? Pawpaw trees. We just cut it. Anytime if you cut it, you will see blood.
What?
If you cut pawpaw now, you will see blood. You cut a banana tree, you will see blood. They do hide inside. We know that. But they give us sign that they have to come back again. You can see that we can't take it though. We don't even depend on the federal government again. If I get chance to return, I will tell him to leave federal government as well because we are not happy again. We will fight them like the way they want. So this land is our land. This land is our land.
So are you literally saying that these guys come and enter inside the tree? They use charms to fortify themselves.
You can't see them physical. You can't see them physical.
So that's why they
cannot see them physical.
Wow.
You cannot see them physical. Either they come out in the middle of the night, or they come when you guys are free, so that they'll just enter on anyhow.
But why are they? What's the cause of this problem? Why are they always repeating?
That is what I want to understand.
Why is this recurring? What is their grievances? What do they want?
We do farm. We do farm in our place anyway.
Okay. Yes.
We do farm, yam, farm cassava.
Benue is the food basket of the nation. We know that.
They will just control their cow into the. Maybe when you get to your farm, you see cow inside your farm. You won't pursue them. You pursue them now. So before you talk now, they will kill you inside the farm there. They do kill like that. I would not complain.
The one that happened recently, what caused it? What happened? We just know that the game killed, maimed.
That is what I am saying. That they just want us to leave the land for them, and it's not possible. We can't leave any land for them. It's not possible. It's not possible anymore. It's not possible. We can't leave you. We cannot.
Have you seen any security operatives? Have you seen any military men, the police, NCDC, anyone?
Nobody come. Nobody. We youth, we will be the security of our village. Nobody come, and we don't care. We don't care.
You see?
We don't care. Nobody come, and we don't care.
Thank you.
We will be the one to secure our village.
Thank you very much.
And we don't even care for federal again. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. I do appreciate that somebody from Benue actually called.
Yeah, it was good. He has come to set the perspective very well. It's for some of us that are not really on ground.
Yes.
You see, when we are talking about democracy is not just because we copy from US. Our own must be of the same standard with US. We should be able to look at the peculiarities that are things that are, too related to us here and say, let us pattern our own towards it. If you look at Nigeria, Nigerians will tell you, if I say, Esther, where are you from? The first thing you are going to tell me, you are going to start telling me your state, your local government, and I will begin to probe, from which local government, which village in your local government. If now that we know that Nigerians value their ethnic background more than their nationality, why don't we pattern our democracy to follow that line? We can begin. Let us come with a workable constitution that will favor everybody. Do you know why it is like this? We have left the background, we have left our regions and concentrated the whole power more in Abuja. If you made the region to thrive better, the people will not begin to be talking about Abuja. Let's leave Abuja alone. We should begin to. Nigeria has functioned so well when it was the regional government in this nation. All the development you see in the southwest today were practically done by Awolowo and under the regional government. The ones you saw in the east, it was the same thing. The so-called ABU of today, OAU and all that, Nigeria was not operating this kind of system where Abuja was the one that spoon-feed every other 36 states, including the FCT. If we break it down to this level, let us begin to pattern our democracy to this ethnic background.
CP.
This debt we just fade off.
CP.
Everybody will be engaged in his own locality.
You heard the last caller.
Yes.
And you heard how he described the scenario.
Yes.
He said they don't see these individuals.
Yes.
That they hide in the tree. Most times when they cut the trees, they see blood. Because there have been questions. Well, how comes they can't apprehend the perpetrators of this crime? Severally, this man, Samuel Otom, the governor of the state, has come out, literally crying, saying all manner of things to ensure that he gets an immersion, a reaction from the federal government to assist him and assist his state. They said it is called a communal clash between the herders and the farmers. They tried to look for a way to resolve it or give it an impasse. It seems like that is not working. The recent killings in Benue, I am specific about this because up till now, we've not heard from these herders why they are perpetrating these killings. What they actually want. Boko Haram will tell you that this is what they want. The other time when they killed some fishermen who went for a fishing expedition, they said they had categorically warned them not to go along that zone anymore. They specifically told them not to come along that area. But this, they had to come. They said they needed to fish. They needed to get food. And then they killed them. At least they were warned. These guys came. They did what they did. They went back, came back the following day, and then entered the IDP camp. So far, in the past 3 weeks, 400 persons has died. We've not heard anything from the Nigerian Security Defense Force. We've not heard from the military. We've not heard from the Navy. We've not even heard if they've deployed a special tactical team to see how they can resolve the problem there. So the question, what brings everyone to the fore is, where is the proactiveness that is expected? If we're talking about securing the nation and giving it a sense of we are all for everyone from the federal government, you're saying you're representing everyone. Why are we not seeing that proactiveness on your part like you would do for some political elites? A former deputy governor was kidnapped 2 days ago. But immediately there was a response as to how they are drafting a team to go and secure his release. Why are we not seeing that same reaction for the people that were killed in Benue?
It's really unfortunate what we are seeing in Benue. Just like the caller stated, it appears the herdsmen are more interested in their cows than in the interest of the indigenes and their investments. And that is why they will come brazenly with their heads and allow cows to feast and feed on people's investment, which is the crops they have grown over time. When I was a commissioner of police in Oyo, I had a similar experience, but we were able to manage it because there had been some Fulanis who had cohabited with the locals, with the farmers, for more than 100 years. And they have lived side by side. And those set of Fulanis or headers made one thing abundantly clear to me, that if by error of commission or omission, their cattle graze into people's farm, they have a way of settling. That they will cost whatever is involved, they will pay for it. That they are not involved in bloodletting. But that it appears some other nomadic or pedestrian Fulanis, that they don't know where they come from. Maybe they are coming from other states of West Africa, either Niger or Chad, and so on and so forth. That those ones are not part of them, that they will come before you know, say Jack Robinson, they have left the place. And those are the ones carrying lethal weapons, like all this AK you are talking about. That their people are used to bow and arrow to protect themselves and their animals from wild animals. And I began to see some sense in what they were saying. In fact, I stabilized the place when I was there, and we were witnessing very least occurrences.
Minimal occurrences.
Yes, very minimal occurrences.
All right.
But in that of Benue, my worry is that it requires a military action.
Hello, good evening. Hold on, CP. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Your name, please, and location.
Yes.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Hiki. I'm calling from Japan.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Please, what I want to chip in all this, the last caller said about the people, the Fulanis that hide in the tree. from my own view, why can't them slaughter all the trees they have in that village or any other place? So everywhere will be free. Everybody will be seeing what is going on, both midnight, night, every time.
Okay.
Because the killings is too much.
All right.
I have spent all my life here and abroad because of how Nigeria is. The suffering in abroad too is too much. You can't come to Nigeria because of the security, everything. So I want to thank you guys for letting us know what is going on.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
So, like I was saying, it requires a military action.
But
Military action I'm talking of, if we want to have a way forward and we want to be sincere about it, an intelligence network has to do their...
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yes, hello.
Good evening. What's your name,
Yes,
please?
thank you. Mr. James, I called from the Gambia earlier
Oh,
on.
Mr. James again. Go ahead, please. Very brief.
I think the problem is a national problem. It's a federal problem. And one thing we should know is this. The problem with Nigeria is the ruling class.
Okay.
It is the same class of people who are governing the country since independence that are still governing the country.
All
They are
right.
protecting their... So this is a class war between the ruling class and the ordinary people. That's number one. Then the other thing is that until that class is overthrown, this problem cannot be solved.
All right.
I'm not saying that that class must be overthrown before this problem can be solved.
All right.
Now,
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will soon be rounding off. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Just one more point.
Hello.
Yeah, we don't need state police. Federal police is okay. Federal police is okay.
All right.
The federal government should be responsible.
Okay.
During the time of Yakubu Gowon, Murtala Mohammed, Obasanjo, and others, federal police did the job. Why can't they do it now? So state police is not the answer. We need a new ruling class. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In order for us to round off, we have about 3 minutes. CP Chooks, what's your round off to the particular conversation we had
Yes,
today?
like I was saying before the last caller, if they can locate the camp of those people, there's no need risking the ground forces, which is the army. All they need to do is to use the Air Force, go and raise down that camp completely, and this thing will come to an end.
Barrister John Wokedi.
Yes, I believe there should be a proactive action with respect to what is going on in Benue. And the federal government should live up to their duties. We have enumerated so many agencies who have intelligence gathering information, DSS, and the rest of them. DSS, I'm so sorry to say it, if they want to come for me, no problem. They have been the most, I don't know how, people that have deviated from their core mandate
Their primary
of
duty.
action, primary duty, to something very, very shameful and very embarrassing. They are chasing shadows. The essence of establishing is to gather information, get to the root of mix and mingle with the people, get to the root of what might be the cause of a problem, and then hand over all this necessary crucial information to the police or to the army for appropriate actions. If these guys were on these trees, on the rocks, DSA should unearth that and find a way to locate where they are, and then find the solution to this problem. And then the military, there are people, the ruling class,
All right.
the federal government should know that anybody elected as a president, I've always said it, once you're elected as a president of Nigeria, have the mindset of that patriot.
Okay.
That patriotic person,
spirit.
Focus on Nigeria. If we actually want to grow this country and want to restore our respect among the community of nations, let us be guided by patriotism and by the rule of law.
Mr. Elvis.
Yeah, I want to come from the angle of this
CP.
CP, from your investigation in Oyo State. These people, many of them actually stray into Nigeria from other countries. That is where I want the incoming administration to look into strengthening our security forces at the border. our border posts are too porous. People walking freely. So if these guys are coming into Nigeria with arms and nobody is checking them, and remember they don't have a family here, there is nothing like mercy. What they are coming in here is to commit the crime and get away with it. And they still stroll through the border and go back. So this one that we are talking about camp, their camp may not even be within this area that we are looking at. It's possible.
But the person who called said these guys use charms.
I mean, how do you prove
I believe
that?
he's being philosophical.
Yes, we cannot prove that, Esther. But the one we can prove is the one that we're talking about technology. We should use technology and we should strengthen our security forces, especially at the border post. Nigerian border posts are too porous. The people that are the immigration is not doing their job.
But there's always internal conspiracy.
Custom is worst. Yes, the internal conspiracy comes in,
and they have manpower shortage. Consider the size and length of the.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that the incoming administration should look into enforcing all these things. If they are going to increase the number of men, then get more equipment, get technology. There is no border post that is as worst as America and Mexico.
All right.
Yet it still be managed till tomorrow.
There is resources there. There's none here.
I mean, but there is resources here.
Right.
It's corruption. There's resources here.
Thank you so much, Mr.
It's
Elvis.
corruption.
Thank you, Barrister Joe Wokedi. Thank you, CP Chooks. Thank you for those of you who called in on the political spotlight this particular Sunday. It comes up 6:30 to 8:30. We actually have another program coming in right now. My name is Esther Nwachuku. You can subscribe to our social media handles at VOP 903 FM. Good evening and have a fantastic